Well, let's march on. The one thing I did not do is set up my roster, my lines. Which, to be honest, will include 11 people to get Najera some playing time. Dante White's my head coach, and he's fucking terrible. So I'm going to drop my bench utilization quite a bit just to get the starters' minutes up there. But yeah, the fact that I literally don't have a point guard is pretty rough. How old's Najera at this point? 26? I don't even know if I can prioritize him. I think I'm going to go with 9. Yeah, I'm not even going to prioritize Najera. We'll have Foster and Barnes there instead. So let's see what happens. Trade offers can change our plans in an instant. Let's see what happens. As the Timberwolves immediately get a trade offer for Georgie. It's that and my second round pick next year for a guy named Ernest Goodrich, who's 29. No, like if I'm trading Georgie, I'm getting someone better than that. That's a horrible trade. And so far, the Timberwolves not lighting the world on fire. Matt Barnes for Jason Collins and a 2007 pick. 2007 is what we're looking at. Disrespect to Jason Collins. We'll keep Matt Barnes instead. I'm at 3-3. You guys are 2-2 so far. Not nearly far enough into this. You guys get an offer to bring back Austin Crozier. That's a no. Lottery protected, though. Jamal Crawford for an 05 pick, but it's lottery protected. That's a no, then. Absolutely not. AC Manning's old at this point, too. Get another trade for Georgie and Matt Barnes for Wayne Wallace and Boris Stockton. Wallace is 24, C potential. Stockton, C potential. Fucking hold on to who I got. I'm at 4-8. You guys are at 8-3. So far now 9-3. You get a trade offer for Shane Battier, your starting forward. It's for a big man, Harold Law, who's 31. And a 2003 second rounder. So that's got to be a no. That's got to be a no. With how well you guys are doing, a second round pick doesn't really move the needle. And Law being a power forward doesn't even mean he'll play because you have Dirk and Boozer. So yeah, that's a good reject. Yeah, LeBron's fallen to the second, exactly. You guys are crushing it right now. Holy shit. Maybe indeed coaches do matter that much. Georgie and a second in 2007 for a guy named Victor Miller. He's 30.
Oh, good.
Doesn't make a difference. Shout out to Torque Penderloin. Phenomenal name. This dude's 7'2". So basically, trade my 7'7" old center for a 7'2" slightly younger center. No. These trade offers have been bad. Timberwolves are terrible. Boozer and a second for a guy named Kurt Thomas. It's an improvement on who you got, but you might as well keep Carlos. Torque, thank you for that. Appreciate it. This is what we do here. You're not really going to see me on MyNBA. You're not going to see me on My Player. Like this is what we do here. Man, you guys are at 16-4. I'm at 4-17. You guys might really have to reconsider your tactics for this season, huh? I don't think you do that. I think if you were terrible this year, you do that. 2006 first rounder. But given that you're not terrible, you hold on to Jamal Crawford right now. He's going to keep getting better, too. Yeah, if you guys were terrible, I think you risk it, but you don't risk it there. 17-5 for the Magic so far this year. Should have another trade offer coming through. Or the game crashed. No? Okay. Maybe someone else made a trade. Legit a universe where I get the number 1 pick, but the Magic win the title. I'm here for it. I'm here for it at this point. 24-8 for Orlando. Couple of losses here and there. You beat me again, only by a point. Another trade for Georgie. Not what I'm looking for. Georgie and John Barry for a guy named Dean Booker, who is a little bit younger. And a point guard, James Geiger. What teams are we getting for the Kobe era? You'll find out. I'm going to keep Georgie again. I mean, I'm not going to get rid of him unless I get what the hell I want for him. But yeah, no one's given up 2003 first rounders at this point. Timberwolves keep losing games hand over fist. That's got to be Jim Jacks. I'm not trading Ricky Davis for two older guys. Get out of here. Trade offers the past few years have been bad. Oh, good. I could get Sean Kemp back. Fuck you. Okay. That you might consider. Carlos Boozer for a 2005 first-round pick from Seattle, unprotected. You would also get Sleepy Floyd as a veteran depth piece. Ricky Smith is a nobody. So you'd give up Boozer. You do have Lawrence Funderburk as a random veteran signing. And Wallace can play power forward. Shane Battier's out, but not for the season. That depends on how much you want to risk your depth and if you're confident that you can win this before the 2005 draft. That draft does feature the likes of Chris Paul primarily at the top of it. The Sonics right now are looking rough. They're looking pretty rough too. Landry, Smith, I mean, they got Stepanya. Warren's hurt. Woodson's hurt. They got a pretty old team, and they're not that good. That's a pretty calculated risk. Again, Carlos Boozer's potential is only a B-. It'll probably end up being a B, if not a B+. But you never know what that pick could be. It could even be Carlos Boozer. I will leave it up to a poll. So again, the positive, you get yourself a little bit of insurance the closer we get to the 2005 draft by getting a pick. It is true that Floyd is signed through next year, but so are all of your key pieces. Like Dirk has a new deal, Vince has a new deal, Penny's deal's up at the end of the year. So is Jamal, but it's an overwhelming yes. So sacrifice Carlos Boozer now to potentially end up with a top draft pick in 2005 in case you need it. And that is the approach chat's going to take. So Carlos Boozer off to the Seattle Sonics just before the deadline. 12-30 for the T-Wolves, 29-10 for the Magic. I'm going to double check your depth chart, so to speak. Honestly, come playoff time, you can drop down to a 7-person bench. I mean, for now, you might as well go to like a 9 or a 10. Save your stars a little bit with how well you're playing. But, yeah, you guys are just going to be able to run your stars in the playoffs because you're making it at this rate. All right, another trade for Georgie. This one for O'Donnell Foyle, who was my player and elected to leave. I'd have to give up Matt Barnes, which is okay. But I get rid of Georgie. I bring back O'Donnell Foyle, who is younger. I'm going to do this. We'll get rid of Georgie. His deal's up, and I get O'Donnell Foyle back for an extra year after this. That is my first done deal trade of the season. So we move on from Georgie. Mike Miller hurts. Yeah, that's fine. So yeah, O'Donnell Foyle back in the fold for me. And just to double check. Just to double check. I'm going to put that dude. Nope, I can't. Foyle wouldn't be able to go on the list either. I could put Zach Randolph out there, but I don't want to. Same with Ricky. Honestly, I have to know. I have to know. Also, no one's sent me a deal for Jamal Mashburn in like 2 years now. I'm going to put my super young core on the block just to see if I get an offer in the next couple days. And for you guys, you're still set up pretty well. We're only a few days out from the deadline. Will there be another trade? No, there won't be. So let's go to the All-Star break like we do. The Magic entering the All-Star break. Crash, welcome back. At 32-13, the Timberwolves at 15-34. So needless to say, you guys very much in the playoff hunt. Currently the fourth best team in the East. Only 2.5 games back. Only 2.5 games back of the Celtics. Not bad. For me, trash. But none of us could get an extra first. At this rate, I will have a good lottery pick, though. If that matters for anything based off of my lottery luck. The 2003 All-Stars. Nash, McGrady, Dirk made it for you guys. Jason Kidd, he's out for the season. Not only did he rupture his Achilles, but he's got the shits. Vince Carter, also back to another All-Star game. In the West, Shaq and Kevin Garnett on the same damn team. I'm never making it anywhere. It is up to you guys to win this. Jamal Mashburn made it. It is literally up to you guys to win this challenge. I'm not going to have a hope in hell unless I get LeBron this year. That's my only shot. Really quickly as well, contract extensions. Penny is willing to re-sign. The question is, are you willing to pay Penny Hardaway the big bucks? Is this a mod? Nope. This is just outright NBA 2K23, baby. This is it. So, yeah, you guys will have to make that decision about Penny, who is 31. Probably not worth the big bucks. Player or team option wouldn't even necessarily matter. He would take. I mean, you could offer him a little bit less. Really on a 1+1 if you wanted to. I'll give you guys a minute. For me, this is Jamal Mashburn's potential final year. Did I give him a player option? I don't know if I gave him a player option. It doesn't look like it, but Mashburn's made it clear that he's out as soon as he can be, which is fine. So I'm seeing people in favor of a 1+1. And you could negotiate this a little bit. I mean, you could go 9.25 to see if he'll take it. You could go up to 9.5. Probably have to go up to 9.5 off of the team option. Like, you could do something like that. He'll still be worth it for that. But that's if he signs it. That is if he were to sign that deal. All right, will he accept it? He has accepted it. So Penny's back beyond this year. One more year, and then you guys have a team option. All right, let's see how the rest of this season goes then. Magic's exception allowed them. We will fill out roster automatically. Let the AI handle it as we do for filler, just to save time. We're paying attention to the Magic at this rate. It's all about you guys. As we get to March, we will stop simming and check your roster. I am 18-39. We can both change some things here. So for you guys, I think you're good to go down to 8. But have high bench utilization to get Wallace, Floyd, and Crawford in there as much as you can. You could extend the bench a little bit more, but at the same time, you also don't want to risk losing. Like, you want to make sure you get a relatively high seed if you can, although granted, has that worked out? Not necessarily. For me, Jamal Mashburn is hurt, so is Zach Randolph. Fuck's sake. Honestly, I'm going to tank it. 13-man bench. High bench utilization. I'm intentionally trying to tank now at this point. Let's just get everybody a little bit of playing time. The other option, of course, is letting my younger guys get more playing time, but I got to fucking tank. I have to tank it. Absolutely have to. So let's march on with the Magic here. Will this somehow end before the LeBron draft, meaning we'd have to begin the Kobe era before seeing that take place, which I'd be okay with. But this is unbelievable. Again, we do all three eras. Chat wins the 80s in like 6 years. And now we're over a decade into this era. But the Orlando Magic are playoff bound. Tim Duncan wins the regular season MVP. Rookie of the Year, Amari Stoudemire. For Golden State from the looks of it. Correct me if I'm wrong. There you go. Sixth Man of the Year, Speedy Claxton. Speedy Claxton. Washington. Tim Duncan wins Defensive Player of the Year. Most Improved Joe Scott for Boston. First team All-NBA is T-Mac, Arenas, Duncan, Nowitzki, and Shaq. So, I mean, one of the good things for you guys is that Cleveland shouldn't be a contender at this point because KG left, but you still have to deal with McGrady and Nash in Boston. All defensive team, T-Mac's there. Wow, KG's actually hurt. Shaq, Duncan, Vince Carter's on the all-defensive team. The all-rookie team, Stoudemire, oh my God, Stoudemire, Yao Ming, Jay Williams, Cliff Walker, and I'm sorry, but what distracted me was Jeff Gordon. I was going to say, my God, Jeff Gordon. Number 24 in Seattle, Rookie of the Year. Mao Ying. That is what it sounded like, but I was not going to say Mao Ying, I promise. Oh, God. Whew. And he's 24. I know, Danny, it's perfect. So the playoffs, Phoenix and Portland, Lakers and Grizzlies, Spurs and Warriors, Mavericks and Rockets. In the East, Boston and Chicago, the two-time defending champion Celtics. Orlando finishes as the 4 seed. You'll take on the Knicks. You got the Hornets and the Sixers, the Heat, and the Nets. So back in the playoffs, the Orlando Magic, after missing last year. Gerald Wallace is hurt, out for 2 to 4 weeks, but aside from that, you guys looking good. Dirk, Vince, Jamal's been playing a lot more. Dirk's your main man on the boards. 8 assists a game for Penny. For the absolutely horrible T-Wolves, Mashburn still my best guy. Caron Butler had a pretty decent year. So I am, for the hell of it, the league leaders. Paul Pierce, 30 points a game in Toronto. 14 rebounds a game for Tim Duncan. 11 assists a game for Steve Nash. Baron Davis and Iverson, both just experts at stealing the ball. So let's take a look one more time at your lineup here. Not mine, but yours. Honestly, with the injury to Gerald Wallace, you could shorten the bench down to 7 to get Bowen out of there. You could. What would it look like if you put 0 bench utilization? Just play the stars, man. Play your best. You got Crawford and Floyd off the bench. You might as well just run your best, because with 8, you don't have the depth. And the more that a Bowen or an Anthony is out there, it's brutal. When you get Gerald Wallace back, it's not bad because he's a defensive specialist. That's personally what I would run. You just put those stars out there and run them until the wheels fall off. That's what everyone else is doing. That's what everyone else is doing. Let's take a look at the New York Knicks. Led by Sharif Abdur-Rahim, Larry Hughes, Rafer Alston, Lawrence Owens. Very, very similar to the team that you guys snuck past a few years ago. But yeah, still at the top, Abdur-Rahim, Hughes, Rafer Alston. They're big 3. That is a winnable matchup, for sure. That is, for sure, a winnable matchup. The question is whether or not you do win it. Again, got the FHF for the follow. This is the first year that the first round is a best of 7 rather than a best of 5. Let's see how game 1 goes. Let's do it. Let's do it. No need for gigantic pomp and circumstance. Let's just see if the team fucking gets it done. And honestly, at this point, to save time, we are only jumping in for elimination scenarios. We're desperate at this point. If they're not going to win it, then screw it, just move on type of thing. And unfortunately, the New York Knicks just ran Orlando's show in game number 1. That's rough. That's a rough time. That's a real rough time. Whew. Doliak had 1 point in 36 minutes. Game 1 to the Knicks. Game 2. Game number 2. It's close. The Magic win a close one, 124 to 119. 44 points from Vince Carter with 10 assists. 38 from Dirk. The double from Penny with 16 assists. Huge, huge game that they desperately needed. 30 points from Alston. Offset a couple of double-doubles as well. Abdur-Rahim fouled out in 10 minutes. Game number 3. Again, it is now a best of 7, not a best of 5 in the opening round. We're waiting to see if the Magic can get it together. They lose game 3, 110 to 104. And Dirk and Vince were both solid. Shane Battier, not the best game in the world. Not ideal. 32 points, the double for Abdur-Rahim. 2-1 Knicks. Again, not an elimination situation now. Game 4. It's not do or die. But a 3-1 deficit would still be brutal. $119 to 104. The Knicks have a 3-1 series lead. Carter fouled out. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. It's not looking good. It's not looking good. The Boston Celtics have swept the Chicago Bulls. Wallace is still hurt. And to be honest, you could up the bench depth to 8 just to do something else, but it's all guards anyway. But let's see what happens. Our dudes are tired. Everyone's dudes are tired, though, at this point. It's the playoffs, and you're playing your stars a bunch of minutes a game. And, I mean, you got 3 guys who are listed as on fire. Game 5. Will the Magic's season end here? It's not looking good. It's not looking good. It is Orlando's ball. But they need a 2-minute comeback here to keep this season alive. Risky inbound to Jamal Crawford. Penny Gets it to go. Shocked it wasn't an and one. Leads down to 6. Magic lose this game. We are going to the LeBron draft. As insane as that is, when we started in 1991. Horrific defense from Shane Battier.
That was pretty, and he just has that effortless knack for getting inside. Tell you what, you'd hate to be the guy.
Hard away to Dirk. Missed shot from Dirk.
He came away empty there, especially given room to operate.
Alston with the ball. Over Crawford. And he overshot that one.
Big rebound for Nowitzki. 1:20 to go. Penny to Jamal Crawford. Big three-pointer from Crawford. I forgot that was up, by the way. Beautiful.
Alston against Hardaway. Steps back and fires. Here's Abdul Rahim. Lays it up and in on the nice reverse.
Killed by the big men again, Sharif Abdur-Rahim. Lived by the big men in the 80s, dying by the big men through the 90s and into the 2000s. Another miss from Dirk, and that'll pretty much do it. There's the foul from Battier. The New York Knicks eliminate the Orlando Magic in 5. We talked about the nuclear option, and maybe we both need to think long term now, because this is brutal. This is absolutely brutal. The Magic have been eliminated. The Knicks will play the Celtics. Fucking oof.